In reviewing the information provided, the Independent Qualification Commission has determined that there are concerns with the wealth declaration of Tirana's appellate prosecutor Gentian Trenova, for whom a decision will be made on the 20th of June. 5 centres will be set up in Tirana to rehabilitate juveniles in conflict with the law, shifting the focus from punishment to prevention of reoffending through the implementation of psychological treatments. Muslim believers tonight close the month of fasting before celebrating with the feast of EID Mubarak tomorrow. The traditional prayer will be conducted at 6 a.m. tomorrow along the Dishmorid Combat Boulevard. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Thursday the 14th of June 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country, translated into English. It was precisely the negotiations with the neighbouring state of Greece that were the subject of a meeting between President Ilir Meta and Prime Minister Edi Rama held today. Yesterday's meeting with the Prime Minister, Rama, was normal, where various issues were discussed, mainly regarding the importance of opening negotiations for our country's EU membership. We hope for a positive decision to open the negotiations. Of course, we have also discussed the progress of negotiations with Greece. We will be in a position to make further decisions as the President's office expects to receive more complete information, according to the most serious standards that the importance of this issue deserves, stated Ilir Meta to the media today. Regarding the decision-making, the head of state underlined that all decisions of the presidential institution will be in accordance with the Constitution. I want to underline the importance of resolving this issue. This is very important, not only for overcoming an inherent problem, but also as an opportunity and perspective for the management and utilisation of marine goods. All decisions of the presidential institution will be in accordance with the Constitution, as is such the responsibility that belongs to us, added Ilir Meta. The President was today at the Red Cross Red Blood donor station at Rainier Park, where he responded to questions regarding the meeting from interested media representatives. The Independent Qualification Commission is currently reviewing the investigative folder for the prosecutor Gentian Trenova. The trial panel consists of Lulzim Hamitai, Brunilda Bekteshi and Olsi Komitsi. Present at the hearing, Gentian Trenova was also accompanied by his lawyer Saimir Lami. Relator Brunilda Bekteshi stated that the prosecutor Trenova has been subjected to the priority process as a member of the Justice Appointment Council. Regarding his wealth, the IQC has ascertained that he has not declared all sources of his wealth in his documentation, instead hiding some assets and making a false declaration. The High Inspectorate of Declaration, Audit of Assets and Conflict of Interest has concluded that Trenova has submitted false statements and has not declared all sources of wealth in his documentation. The Independent Qualification Commission has conducted an in-depth verification. From the investigation, it has been determined that the subject owns an apartment on Jaiko Street. Furthermore, there has been an attempt to hide the ownership through the action of passing said ownership on his behalf to his parents-in-law, said Brunilda Bekteshi. Gentian Trenova also has 2 vehicles, a Volkswagen and a Mercedes-Benz. Prosecutor Trenova has also received gifts from relatives and loans from his sister and mother. Gentian Trenova has made a false statement in that he has not declared savings and assets to the value of at least €12,000, said Brunilda Bekteshi. Bekteshi said Trenova has taken fraudulent action in the real estate office by adding a floor to his apartment but then donating it to his mother-in-law. Meanwhile, the verification of Trenova's reputation did not uncover any concerns. After reviewing all wealth documents and also taking into account the purity of the subject's image, the trial panel will reconvene in order to decide as to whether the appellate prosecutor of Tirana will continue in his duty or not. The decision by the Independent Qualification Commission for Gentian Trenova will be made in a hearing to be held on June 20th. Trenova is one of the members of the Justice Appointment Council as a representative of the prosecutor's office and is the second from the JAC to be subjected to the vetting process after Altina Georgai, who did not pass successfully. Prime Minister Edi Rama gathered coordinators of co-governance with citizens at the headquarters of the government to learn more about the concrete resolutions provided to the problems reported. Rama said that the online portal titled The Albania We Want avoids the need for citizens to attend offices and saves significant time for citizens wishing to receive services. Within this mandate, we have transformed the administration into a servant of the citizens. We can do this because the citizens want the office staff in their service and do not accept them as the owners of their rights, said Edi Rama. The Prime Minister continued to appeal to all citizens to address any concerns via this portal. There are business problems and problems of the community, but they are problems that can be easily solved by the structures that have the duty to do so. But unfortunately, this had not been happening, added Eddie Rama. According to Rama, the accountability produced by this portal avoids the potential for corruption. Whoever holds citizens hostage by saying that they don't like the envelope being used can no longer be part of the administration. Those who demand citizens return 10 times to obtain a document that it is their right cannot be part of the administration, especially now that we know it takes only 3 minutes by approaching the platform, said Eddie Rama. In the end, the coordinator spoke in concrete terms about the resolutions provided to solve the problems of the citizens. Justice authorities are working on the implementation of the Restorative Justice project, which shifts the focus towards mediating and rehabilitating those who find themselves in conflict with the law. Widely used across the most developed countries, restorative justice focuses on juveniles who commit penal offences by engaging them in psychiatric treatment, psychology and education in order to not stay in penitentiary institutions. Justice Minister Itilda Jonai said that in cooperation with the municipality of Tirana, 5 centres will be built and tasked with handling cases where juveniles are the ones who are in conflict with the law and the measures to be taken to avoid reoffending once they have exited the institution. The Penal Justice Code for Juveniles provides the realisation of rehabilitation activity through the establishment of a Centre for the Prevention of Offending by Minors and Juveniles, which aims at the supervision and protection of the juveniles after the punishment according to legal definitions and provisions. This institution is expected to be established by the 1st of January 2019. It will take all necessary measures regarding the implementation of rehabilitation activity for juveniles upon termination of the sentence period. This centre will work in cooperation with the other competent authorities to ensure all the necessary support and supervision is provided for a period of 6 months from the end of the sentence served. The agreement that we have made with the municipality of Tirana will also be applied in other municipalities. This agreement makes available the probation service institution to the social centre under the administration of the municipality of Tirana for the purpose of implementing programs and the duties assigned to implement preventative measures for juveniles in conflict with the law, said Eltida Jalna. SP MP Vasilika Husi said that there have been continuing efforts in order to maintain restorative justice as one of the 7 pillars of the justice reform. It is very difficult to move on from the mentality of the penal justice system to restorative justice. I would like this restorative justice not to be offered to those who simply have the most money or a better lawyer, but to be offered to those in need, to those who, because of environmental and social circumstances, make mistakes in life. Imprisonment is not necessarily the best solution for them. Our prisons should contain senior corrupt officials, dodgy businessmen, and people connected with the world of crime and drugs, explained Vasilika Husi. According to professionals and experts, mediation is judged as one of the most effective methods in preventing reoffending, especially for juveniles. Agriculture Minister Nico Peleshi, during a series of meetings with farmers of Durrës, has guaranteed that Albanian products are within the allowable norms in regards to the use of pesticides. And according to him, the increase in exports attests to this. It is not true that all our farmers in general use illegal methods or substances. Of course, everywhere around the world there are instances of such cases, but Albanian products are accepted by the European market. Even more, it is accepted with a very competitive price and without complaints, or at least very few complaints. Only last year, our exports to the European Union markets increased by 26%, reiterated Peleshi. The minister stressed preliminary agreements between manufacturers, growers and exporters follow the best models. Farmers cultivate what the trader requires, and so begins a strong relationship with farmers who can cooperate for their sales. This is the Albanian farm model that we want to spread throughout Albania when we talk about cooperation, said Nico Peleshi. Emphasising that exports to EU countries increased by 26%, Peleshi called on farmers to increase the quality of their produce as well as food safety standards. Muslim believers will close the month of Ramadan tonight after 30 days of fasting. The closure of this important month is celebrated with the feast of EID Mubarak that is to be held tomorrow. Albania's Muslim community announced to believers that the prayer of EID Mubarak will be held in Tirana on Friday at 6 a.m. on the Boulevard Dëshmorët e Kombit, with a special program of speeches from the imams starting earlier at around 5:30 a.m. The reason why believers are forced to return again to pray along the boulevard is that the space of Skanderberg Square is being set up with a big screen as an arena for the World Cup Football Championship. Muslim community leader Skandar Bruchais congratulated believers and asked for this feast to be used as a fraternal gathering, as a moment of expression of love and respect for our families, our neighbours and all those around us. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.